Yo, 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 what is going on? IK Familia, it is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are bringing it back with another episodic series of voting and what new suggestions are being thrown around within the voting channel on the official Infinity Kingdom Discord. So we're going to read through a bunch. I'm going to upvote, downvote, give you my thoughts and my reasonings why. I love going through this channel because sometimes you can really find good hidden gems here. Maybe just things that are outside the box thinking, ideas or suggestions you may not have thought of yourself. Maybe they give you inspiration for something. And I just love taking a gander. So before we get started, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell. Of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord, link to that in the description, pin comment down below. All right. Let's go to informal, and bam. All right, let's take a look. First one here we got from Tedrick, hashtag 5190. Quality of life improvement to the UI user interface, the ability to turn off the animations for changing scenes, including but not limited to, fancy language, the castle zoom in during login, menus expanding, well of time, CORIB, FB menus, etc. This can serve two purposes. One, it makes transitions between menus faster, more crisp when needed, such as fighting. And two, it would save resources for people with weaker devices. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually okay. You like this one, sweetie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we vote yes. So, but to give an explanation, I do like it because I will say that, any kind of, it really is quality of life. You're looking to kind of get somewhere a little quicker rather than it taking a while to do so. Mert, hashtag 7399 says, Prayer Fountain need a coin choice, I think, because Dragon heroes want too much gold and we can't gather. I actually will vote yes for this. I do think that they should offer an option for gold. I will say this, I'm a little 50-50 here. I want to say that I'm tending, right, on the initial outlook, I like the idea of them adding gold just because we all need gold. And the thing is, you may not always choose gold, right? I mean, some people might say, okay, yeah, you're probably going to just do gold by default. But there's going to be times where you might need just some extra resources in order to hit that next big upgrade. And you might opt for doing that over the gold at times if it's required. I think for the most part, if gold was added in, probably the majority of people would add gold, would probably just do gold by default. But yeah, I think I lean a little bit more towards adding it in. However, I will say as my last part, even if they didn't, I think it would be okay. But yeah, I do tend to lean a little bit more in that direction. Okay, next one here is by Lyra6691. Just a minor thing, but would be nice to have the ability to sort member ranks alphabetically and switch off them moving to the top of the list when they are online. Makes it a real pain to pick people for events, searching through all the names, and then when they come online, they are at the top, which you already checked. Thank you, sweetie. Sorry, that's two suggestions, so maybe a better way to organize numbers. I'm going to vote yes for this. So there's something, I think, in another Kingdom Builder when people come online, you'll actually get, they'll actually get prioritized at the top of each rank to show you, to differentiate, I believe, the online members from the offline ones in that moment. So I'm totally for this. I also would love to see, and again, this is a great idea to kind of expand on that, adding in a way where you can filter online members versus offline members, right? Where it maybe supersedes ranks or just gives you a separate list that isn't rank related. That could be really cool. Or maybe it gives you an online-offline list, and then you kind of have two bars or areas of, like, duplicates of the rank. So you'll have rank 1 through 4, online, offline, rank 1 through 4. Something like that could be cool. Or even if it's just a flat list of it, and then maybe it just shows the rank along the bar, the rectangular bar or something like that. That could be cool, too. I do like that. Let me see. Helix 94 217 asks, it's time to rethink some of the requirements for KvK. After 3 seasons, it has become the battle of alternative accounts. I've been hearing this. It's starting to wear out players to constantly having to be online 24/7 and causing burnouts, which will eventually lead to lesser players playing KvK. These accounts can be spawned to level 15 in a matter of a day to enter Frostborn. I propose that we revise the minimum requirements to enter Frostborn to be as... Oh, let me see here. Is going to be... What is this? Season 1, Alliance level 5, Castle level 15. Season 2, Alliance level 7, Castle not Alliance level 7. Go ahead. Castle 30. Season 3, Alliance level 9, Castle 40, Conquest Alliance level 10, Castle 41 plus. So what I will say here is I do like the idea of I think the thing to look at, let's look at it from a root cause, which is that the reason it is kind of the battle of the spawn accounts right now is because a lot of people are using alt accounts, making alt alliances, spawning multiple thermal towers on top of the skills, some of the bugs that are there, how long it takes to dismantle. These are things that are just kind of making life difficult. I think the more don't do that, please. I think the more appropriate way of looking at it is to try and address the root cause rather than trying to come up with a solution to a kind of poor problem, right? Or something that we know needs to be fixed, right? Instead of looking at trying to correct things that are happening because of said problem, it's more appropriate to try and address the actual root cause and then work that. Now, when it comes to just generally raising levels for KvK entry, I will say I'm somewhat okay with that to an extent. I think the way they have it now at 15 is actually okay, and I actually think it'd be nice to see how some of attempted to make those improvements in the other areas work first, and then we can look at, okay, well, do we really need to increase levels, so to speak. So I think for this, I'm not really going to vote yes or no because I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess technically maybe I would vote no on this, just based on how it is right now for the reasonings I provided. The next one here is suggest for KvK alliances need to be level 5 before entering into KvK due to the update where the entire gets tactics for completion of each chronicle. So I think this is another thing, right? I think it's more of looking at how to address the actual source of this, and if the source is that the current system is gonna maintain you being able to use tactics from arguably brand new alliances, then I would say yes, it probably would be a good idea to raise that level a bit. If it's, again, I don't think Alliance level 5 is out of this realm. I think somewhere maybe between 4 and 5, give or take, would be appropriate. And if there's no other way to address that, where you have to put an Alliance minimum in it, so that way we're just not having 100 alliances being created at each KvK, because that just doesn't make a lot of sense, then I'm actually in favor of this. So for this specifically, because of the way it's worded, I will vote yes on this one. And then let's see here. I love this game, however, we need more gear options. Currently, it's just one piece of gear. The elements, can you please implement more gear options dropping from the same gnomes? That way we can focus on either crit, dodge, physical defense. So I will say this. I actually like this idea. However, what I will say first is... and I'm saying I love this idea because I like the fact that we're trying to think about more ways to customize, more options, more sets that we can use in the game. And then if we're able to also from that expand on metas and different comp options, that is great. Now, Do I think that we need to expand on gear options at this moment in time? No, I don't. I think there's just bigger things that the game needs to address. But I will say that I love this idea, and I like what it could turn into if the game gets to what I feel is another stabilization point. I like where that could lead. However, it needs to be done in very small incremental ways. It can't just be coming out with 5 or 6 different gear options at once, right? It's got to be one gear option at a time, in my opinion. Or if you're just going to come out with, for someone like this, I think just a slow introduction is a lot more appropriate. Next one here is going to be, so again, I like it, but I'm going to say just not right now. And for that reason, I'm going to downvote. I like the idea, but just not right now. Optimus Prime. Please make Fire Immortals exclusive for COR Shop. This will incentivize players to participate in COR and also let free-to-play get good PvP mortals. I mean, to be fair, that's pretty much what the contracts are for if you think about it, right? The contracts that they added in was a way to incentivize players to participate in COR. However, I will agree that I think another way to increase participation would be to allow for more gold nodes to spawn, where maybe they doubled it per each individual's participation, so that way there's more likelihood. The challenge really is that it's about universal participation in COR, because when gold nodes are spawning based on the winning faction that go in, most of the time you're usually getting a larger chunk of that one faction's players participating and not really utilizing the other 2/3 of players. That doesn't mean that they're not participating on an alliance level or an individual level for contracts, but they just might not be doing it as much as they could be. And so I think doing those types of things could be really good, where we think about maybe adding more contract options, other ways, maybe making Chaos Beasts easier to kill, maybe giving better rewards for those, maybe putting up more tiles that you can gather from. I mean, again, I think there's other ways that you can add a little bit more to what is being done, whether it's adding more or making things a little easier, so that way the average player, regardless of faction, is able to get a little bit more. So now that doesn't mean I don't think that it would be interesting to add maybe free-to-play exclusive immortals that you can unlock in the COR shop. I think that's an okay idea, even if you're rotating. I also think maybe even adding in like one exclusive shard piece, something like that. Even though I kind of, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of the idea, but I will say. Again, when it comes to just adding more, if specifically fire, I just don't think that's the case. I don't think they need to add more exclusive fire. I mean, it'd be cool if they added one exclusive immortal from each comp, would be cool as well, or even if that just rotated or they had them all in there. So for this, I don't know. I like the idea. I don't want to really downvote it, so to speak, because it's not like I'm 100% against it. I just don't think it's the right way of looking at it right now. Rob said a tribute system. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting. Has a bunch of downvotes. Let's see. Loss of prosperity. Vis-a-vis gathering more resources by attacking another player. Purpose. The purpose is to mitigate the loss of prosperity for the attacked player and give resources to the attacking player, because there are players like me who really doesn't want to burn down a town violently, but we want to ask nicely first. Once the attacking player launches an attack, the attacked player will be given an option if he or she wants to pay tribute, bribe to the attacking player instead. I see. So you're basically paying resources to keep your prosperity up. I think I see where this is going. Then there's also send aid as in a loan. Yeah, so it's kind of like what... It almost kind of feels like part of this is just being able to send resources to other people as well. So this I'm probably going to say a no on. One, because I like the fact that you can't send or trade resources in the game. Because that's something that does plague other games. One example is you can have someone who just spends a bunch of money and they just act like a bank and they're just dishing out resources for everyone to help them boost. I've seen that happen quite a bit. Yeah, the idea of paying tribute. I will say it's an interesting idea. I don't know if I'm 100% against it or for it. I think I would have to think, I would, without redundantly saying the word think too much, I would have to ponder this thought a bit more to see where I really feel, I guess how I feel about it. Because I am a little torn on the idea of you pay someone to keep your prosperity up. To me, that just feels as though it could get out of hand and it could almost become some kind of, you know, just a very, I think it could turn into an unfortunate situation. Let me just say that. So for some of those reasons, I'm going to say no. Butterfly here, merge key, dismantle key function, e.g. 2 green key equals 1 blue key. 1 purple key equals 2 blue keys. Interesting. Okay, I see where they're going with this. It's not that I don't like the idea. However, I think it goes away from how the system is currently designed. And that's not to say that I think the idea is bad. I do think it is a idea. It just depends if that's... and don't get me wrong, I think this would actually increase, if you're doing some of this, this would actually give people more of a reason to spend some more AP on dragons as well. So there's that to think about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to vote on this right now, but I do think the idea is interesting. I just think it's a matter of, are you trying to stay intact with what the system is about and where it's going given the current mechanic? Or do you want to kind of, because this really changes it entirely. This could arguably allow for you to just do nothing but AP farm dragons, get enough of a certain key, and or roll the dice for a certain amount, and then you're and if you think about it, right, people that spend could somewhat abuse this, right? If there's not a limit put on it, they could just farm all day long and basically just do nothing but just get gold dragon chests back to back to back and really power skill level up their dragons a lot earlier. So that's something to consider and think about, right? There's pros and cons to everything. So I'm not really going to vote on it right now. If there's limitations put in, yeah. You know what? I will vote on this. I'm going to say no. Only because there's not enough detail in the suggestion. There needs to be details and more thought put into this. Toolis says, give an option to cancel an attack with a cooldown, double the amount of the time, and it would take to march there. Gives a way to get out of attacking on accident. I will say yes, but I just don't know if it's. I just don't know if it's double the amount of time. I think how it should work is that it should just use AP, right? And if you're attacking an actual player, to me, I think the way it should work is that you should lose AP if you want, and like whatever AP you use, if you cancel an attack, that AP is lost, right? That's how I think it should work. I think that's a better way to do it, and it's more in line with not getting a hard penalty on calling back an attack in other ways. That is consistent with other games. So I like the idea, and I will vote for it. I don't think it would be the worst thing, but I think a better repercussion would be that you just lose the AP you use for the attack, and everyone that joins does. Needecker says, in the Alchemy Lab, the ability to sort filter immortal equipment by type rarity. Yes, I agree with this. I also want to add something that I wish they would add a way to do a bulk dismantle. More than 6 would be fantastic. To put 10 times in wishing bounces so we don't tap 40 to 50 times a day. Yeah, I actually really like that. Or just a single tap. A single tap would be dope too. Let's see here. What do I got? I got details. What's this one? Postivezing 4658 says, add detailed text combat log players can review. The replay system is hard to see what buffs. I like that. I think this is a good idea. Scooby says, add more things to the VIP shop like speed ups, artifact components, philosopher's stones, because the moment there was nothing worth getting for those not getting the Holy Dragon. Yeah, I actually agree it'd be nice for them to add some other things to the VIP shop. Maybe just things that are more in line and not too far off base. Let's go with, we're almost done here. Helix says, implement a new player versus event model to the game that involves Alliance Corporation. Currently, servers have a magnitude of inactive bases that are lower than level 15. If a player has been inactive for more than 90 days, that base will turn into a known base in which that the Alliance can rally against the known base for resources purple. This is interesting. However, these bases of limited prosperity can only be teleported. The event will tally up the number of high-level bases, and each Alliance has... Yeah, I don't know. I'd like there to be a little bit more thought. I just don't know how I feel about players that go inactive are not all of a sudden becoming fodder for the kingdom. I think a better approach. Well, I don't know. But initially I feel like downvoting this just because of the way it's worded, and I think it started off okay in the beginning, but then I think as I get to like the middle and the later parts of it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think what Helix is trying to really address here is the fact that there's accounts on the map that just go inactive, right? And if you look at some other, put in the trash. I think if you look at some other games, you'll notice that you'll notice that the way that they just one in particular, right? They'll basically take your account out, right? Where if you never log back into the game again, your account does not count towards player population, doesn't count towards top 300 total power if it's a higher powered account. I think that's one way to address it. I will say if that's the case, it is a little unfortunate because it would, mess with me being able to go into kingdoms and look at kingdom mails, right? Unless they maybe put something in place where mails aren't taken out. It's just your account is not on the map anymore and you don't count towards power. That would be cool. If there was a way to limit that. That's a big ask, though, for me. Then grid, need a load increasing skill similar to time reducing skill for farming. Load increasing reducing skill for farming. I'm going to be honest, I thought they had a load increasing. Oh, he means a skill. Is he referring to a skill such as like a skill from talk? Or from something else. Maybe a little clarification there. All right, boys and gals, that is it for me. Kind of wraps up looking at all of the current suggestions that are able to be voted on, with the latest ones being put in here, I think, 2 days ago. So really cool. We're going to have to go through submissions maybe next to see because, yeah. So again, maybe we'll go through submissions next, but really cool. I love going through these just to kind of get some inspiration. I thought this was actually a really cool round for us to take a look at some of the suggestions that have been approved to be voted on. Would love to know your thoughts, as always, right? Again, do you agree, you disagree, with any of the votes I had, any of the abstainings that I had? What are your thoughts on some of these suggestions that we're seeing? Let me know anything and everything in those comments down below. That's it for me. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.